Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today, friends? I'm so excited. I'm here in Costa Rica for a period of time. I don't have to travel anywhere for a while. And I'm all set up here in my little home studio. And so I'm really excited to be able to kind of be in a little bit more of a regular groove. So today's Mixed Media Mondays, and I wanted to share a couple things with you today that I promised you I would do a couple weeks ago, and that is some printing that I do for my abstract mixed media landscapes, which is the focus of most of my art. I do some abstract work, but mostly landscapes. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that in a minute, and I have a recorded lesson. It should show up at 11 o'clock, so it should be there now, showing you how I created some of these printed papers that I will eventually use in my, here's one on tissue paper, and these don't look like very much. This one's kind of cute, but I actually will be tearing this up because that's what I do. But I show you how I create these in greens and blues, lots of greens and blues that I use to create my landscapes. And I'm going to share a couple of those with you in a minute. But one of the other things I wanted to show you is I have these little scraps, and I use a lot of little pieces in my work. But I save these and I put them in my mixed media book, which you all know is my #1 recommendation for being able to figure out your creative self is to record things in a book. So I've got, I don't even have to refer to these anymore. I know exactly what colors I want to use and all the different techniques that I want to use. So don't forget your mixed media book. So before I show you a couple of pieces and get you so you can get off hearing me chatter, I can talk. I wanted to talk to you about clarifying a little bit of a difference between my 4-part process, which is how I teach and how I help you learn how to find your creative authenticity, and my own personal steps for creating art myself. So in my 4-part process, I teach exploration, and you'll hear me repeat the same things over and over again because it works. And this is a circular experience. So exploration, what subjects do you like? What colors do you like? What are you drawn to? Do you like texture? Do you like flat? Do you like photography? Do you like to integrate faces? What is it that you like to do? And that's part of the whole exploration part. Then experimentation is where the techniques come in. So, landscapes, that's my thing, but for you, maybe it's faces. And so you can take different drawings and put them through an app to create an outline and use mixed media to create those faces for experimentation. I mean, the world is your oyster. I think narrowing down these things is what makes it challenging, and that's what the 4-part process does. So the experimentation part is all these techniques. And then there's documentation, so taking those little pieces of paper and putting them in your mixed media book so okay, I love that color. And then practice and refinement. So once you narrow it down, I'm on a roll now. I do go back, though, to the beginning. My mixed media magic class, that Magic in the Mess. If you haven't taken that, I keep saying that too. Take it. I do that process every single time I create a painting. So it's a basic beginning, but it's a really important beginning for every single piece that you create. And so then for my personal technique, so take that 4-part process to learn what you love to do, what materials you like to use, and how to put those into practice. Then you create your own process. And my process is always, I prime my wood panels. I work mostly on wood panels, sometimes on paper, but then I adhere those to wood panels. I do my scribbles, or if I'm doing something intuitive, I do my scribbles, I put some paint on there or some color. If I'm going from a reference photo, which I don't do that fussy like. I don't look at that photo the whole time I'm creating. I look at it and then I visualize it in my mind, and that's what I use to create. I will sometimes refer back to especially a landscape that I'm doing from a reference photo, like where's the light coming from, just to make sure the composition gets correct. And I'm sorry if you hear a beep in the background. My washing machine is ready. But anyway, so I do the scribbles, I do the paint colors. If I'm doing a reference photo, I will sketch in the very basic outline of the landscape and block it in with paint. So I know the colors, I'll put the darks, the lights, and all of that. And then I start going in with collage papers. And then I add all the embellishments at the end. So that is my personal process, which is different than it's not different, it's the result of going through my 4-part process of how I teach, which is what I did. So let me just show you, and now the landscapers are here. This is Costa Rica, guys. It's like you never know what's going to happen. But anyway, this is a waterfall painting that I did. Actually, it was the first waterfall painting I ever did several years ago, and it's a favorite. So I keep it. I have it hanging here in my home here. And you can see all the different colors in those papers. And how I created rocks and water and flowers and all the different textures. So that is a finished painting. And I finish that with what I do with my waterfalls. I finish them with mica and German glass glitter, so it looks like light reflecting off the water. And this one is one in progress. This is a small painting that I am working on for a show that I am doing a solo exhibition in November. And you can see all the little differences in the colors. So there's a lot of different papers going on here, and I'm not finished with this. This has got a couple of steps to go. I'll go in and I will add light tips on these leaves and some of the light reflecting here. These are the lights in the city. Thanks, Beth. Hi. So good to see you. So this has a little bit of a ways to go, but you can see where I take these collage papers that I have created and I tear them up. So this is the one you will see in the lesson that is up. It's called Botanicals. You can see I printed with leaves and things here. We have the coolest foliage here in Costa Rica. So when I am doing my work, I don't ever really use these, in their actual form. So I will rip around an area that I like. So here's a little piece, and see it's got some of those. Heads up, you're not full screen. Huh. I don't know what that means because I am on mine. So let's see. Thanks, Beth. I will note that next time because this is all still new to me, but I'm having so much fun now. I love being live, and when I actually have a whole bigger studio, I'm actually going to be doing classes live, which is part of why I wanted to do this. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. I will definitely figure that out. Okay, so I've got this little piece with these veins from this print that I did, and I will add that. Now, a couple things. You can't do this with paint. It would be really hard to get that kind of detail. But I will add that somewhere in this painting, potentially. And you can see how I'll get all kinds of different designs and texture. It just gives layers to your work and is an amazing way to make it look very detailed. It is very detailed. You're adding layers. Layers is the key to what I teach. The more layers you have in your painting, the more interest it's going to have, the more depth it's going to have, and the more it's going to look abstract but real at the same time. So check it out. I used all kinds of different papers, my favorite wet strength tissue papers in this one. I cleaned my jelly plate with wet wipes when I was done, and I keep these. I keep everything. If you've taken a class with me, you know that. Some offloaded stuff for future papers. Here's a book page that I was putting some paint on after I was done. So now I have, just from one little session, I have this whole pile of papers that I can use in my work. So there you have it. Check out the lesson for today. Next week I'll be doing some more technique stuff, so I look forward to doing that. And I appreciate those of you who are here, and Beth for commenting. And again, I'll figure out how to do that full screen next time. And yeah, and if any of you are like YouTube aficionados and have some little tips on how to do that, that would be great. But in the meantime, go out there, create. Don't forget, art is therapy. Art is good for you. Art is good for the world. Gosh, we need art right now. We need that creative outlet. So go create, make something beautiful, and then email it to me. I would love to see it. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing week, and I wish you all the best. And I wish you lots of wonderful days of just going with the flow.